Alright, so we are rebuilding the 302 for my brother-in-law's 66 Mustang. The car originally had a 289 in it, but apparently at some point it had been wrecked and the engine was destroyed, so this is what we had to work with. We tried out a new machine shop for this build, so right now we're installing all the bearings, and we're going to put the caps on here in a minute and torque them, and we're going to check our clearances in a slightly unconventional way. Most of the time you would use plastic gauge, but I wanted to see how accurate this machinist was. So we elected to use an inside micrometer and then measure that, and then measured the crank and check our clearances that way. I decided not to edit any of this footage because I've got probably 3 hours worth and it would take a lot of time. This is all just going to be raw, uncut, and sped up. This part of the video, you're going to see us measuring the clearances for the main bearings and connecting rods. Unfortunately, the battery in the camera ran out before we were able to drop the crank in, but so you won't get to see that. In the parts to come, you'll see us put pistons in, size rings, put heads on, all that type of stuff. Okay, so we actually ran through this 2 or 3 times to double check our measurements, and the machine shop said the crank was in such good shape that all they had to do was polish it, so they didn't actually cut it. So we're still using standard bearings, which put us slightly at the high side of the spec, but it was still within spec, so we're all good there. But yeah, it takes a little while to you know, get the micrometer and everything situated, and it's best to check them in a couple different spots, but it's an important step. We wanted to verify that it was an unknown machinist. We've never used him before, so we wanted to verify his work. And most of the time when you do this, you can get by with just using plastic gauge, and it gives you a reasonable measurement of your oil clearances. But like I said, I just wanted to double check this guy's work. I'd like to take the minute to apologize. The reason I have to do these voiceovers is because we heat the garage with one of those torpedo heaters, which is the hum you hear in the background. There's no other way. I don't have any other way to heat the garage, but right now it's like 20. When this video was shot, it was about 25 degrees. So again, I apologize for the humming. Just a note, when you're doing it this way, you have to remember to take the difference between the journal opening and the crankshaft and divide that by 2, because you'll have the crank kind of sits in the middle of the opening. It doesn't sit to one side or the other when pressurized oil is around it. So just keep that in mind if you get some funky readings and you're not sure what's up. Try dividing it by 2, and that'll usually put you where you need to be as far as spec wise. Okay, so here we're measuring the connecting rods with the bearings in place and the caps torqued. And then we will take that dimension, subtract the crank dimension, which I don't believe there's footage of us measuring, and that's how we got our oil clearances.